A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 5, verses 1 to 12. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. When Jesus saw his ministry drawing huge crowds, he climbed a hillside. Those who were apprenticed to him, the committed, climbed with him. Arriving at a quiet place, he sat down and taught his climbing companions. This is what he said: "You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and His rule. You're blessed when you feel you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're contained with just who you are, no more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can't be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God, His food and drink in the best meal you'll ever eat. You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being careful, you find yourselves cared for. You're blessed when you get your inside well, your mind and heart put right. Then you can see God in the outside world. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. You're blessed when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom. Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you to discredit me. What it means is that the truth is too close for comfort and they are uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. Give a cheer, even. For though they don't like it, I do. And all heaven applauds and know that you're in good company. My prophets and witnesses have always gotten into this kind of trouble. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 to 12. Jesus, the new Moses, goes up to the new Sinai and proclaims the new commandments of the gospel. But unlike Moses, who went up the hill alone to converse with God, Jesus goes up the hill surrounded by his disciples and people who listen to him. The new law is not a series of precepts and obligations, but a formula for happiness. Jesus simply declares who are happy and blessed in the eyes of God. But these words indeed shock us, for they contradict our natural inclinations. It looks absurd to declare happy those who mourn, the hungry, those who suffer and are persecuted. Does it look like we have a God who desires for human suffering? Let us pay attention. Jesus does not tell us to be happy even if you are poor. He is not telling us to be happy in spite of our sufferings or even when we do not have a piece of bread to put in our mouth. Remember, we believe in a Jesus who fed the crowd because he felt sorry for them and didn't want to send them away. We believe in him who cured all kinds of diseases and ailments of the body and of the spirit. Therefore, Jesus is not telling us to be content with our fate, and what we have to do is to settle for the pains and miseries of life and above all be happy. No, Jesus doesn't say that. José Cristore Garcia Paredes, a renowned Spanish theologian and declaration missionary, explains the Beatitudes and says, "On the mountain, Jesus is talking about himself. He offers us his self-portrait and tells his listeners that he is happy because he is the beloved Son of the Father. But by assuming the human condition, he takes upon himself all the sufferings, misunderstandings, hatred, persecutions that afflict human beings. But being the Son of God the Father, he wants to share his happiness with his friends, brothers and sisters, inviting us to participate in his divine sonship. God never lets us down. On the contrary, he looks at us with love, blesses us and welcomes us as his sons and daughters. Furthermore, the Beatitudes imply attitudes that we have to freely assume by being merciful, by purifying our own heart, working for peace and fighting for justice, even if we are persecuted for that. That is to say, actively participate in the building of a new world. That is what Jesus has come to bring us. The man who dedicates himself to this task by serving his brothers, by encouraging and comforting them, as St. Paul reminds us, is united with Christ and knows a deep happiness, a beatitude that no shadow of this world can obscure.